favorite stunt. I can tell you my least favorite stunt. My character in Supernatural as Michael the Archangel was fighting Lucifer. And instead of fighting on the ground, we decided to take it to the air. Big mistake. We just looked like marionette dolls. Hey, I'm Jensen Ackles. In my career, I have fought zombies, killed vampires, had fights in tuxedos, jumped from moving vehicle to moving vehicle, and we are going to go through some of my most memorable stunts. Memorable to me because, well, you'll see why. This is Countdown. So Countdown actually opens up on my character in a prison yard. It was the very first day of filming. We were shooting out in Palm Desert, north of Los Angeles. It was summertime. I believe it got up to 117 degrees that day. What better environment to shoot a prison yard brawl? We got into it, got down and dirty. It's the first time I've ever used weight plates in a fight scene. I did break an ankle with a weight bar. That was fun. Not actually. It's all smoke and mirrors, people. But it was disgustingly hot. I think we did have a crew member go down. We were all wildly exhausted. There's an interesting thing that happens between action and cut. The heat goes away, the world goes away, everything goes away, and you are simply focused on the dance that is a fight scene. But man, when they yelled cut, that heat came back real fast. It set kind of the tone of like, this isn't gonna be a nice and easy air-conditioned show to shoot. It was an absolute blast to film. There were a lot of heavy stunt sequences, so I think everybody knew what they were in for after that first day. We were like, well, it can't get worse than this. And it never did. That was literally, I think, the worst day. Another really fun sequence, we go undercover in a big consulate party. Of course, what a better opportunity to get into a massive fight scene than when you're wearing a ridiculous tuxedo. I had a big hand-to-hand combat scene with one of the security guards. Suits are restrictive, just the mobility aspect of it. I do remember there was a wall, there was a drywall that I was supposed to just kind of put the stunt double's head through. And he looked at me just before the take and he was like, hey man, send me. Stunt folks know what that means. And so I was like, all right. I tossed him as hard as I could at that wall and his head didn't go in the wall. His entire torso went through the wall. That was a good one. I've known enough stunt guys to know that they mean it. They don't feel like they're performing at the caliber that they want to perform at if they're not getting that extra energy. You know, a lot of times some actors can be like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt the guy. These guys are oddly indestructible. They're cut from a different cloth. Those guys are just wired differently. They don't feel like they've done the job unless they have felt it. And these guys take hits all the time. So in order for them to feel it, they got to go hard. It's fun working with those guys because it reminds me that I am an actor and not a stunt guy. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm a stunt. I can do stunt. No, those guys are beautifully crazy. This is The Boys. So the end of season 3, all the characters get together and all hell breaks loose. Soldier Boy goes up against Homelander, and Ryan comes in, and Soldier Boy hits Ryan, and then Butcher turns on Soldier Boy, and now you got Soldier Boy versus Butcher and Homelander. You know, we're destroying sets. One of the coolest things was, and we did this practically, I grabbed Butcher's collar and I actually throw him up and over my head and slam him into the ground. There was an actual stunt double on a wire, and I grab him, and this grown man comes up and over my head, and I just slam him to the ground. And for the second time, I was like, this poor guy. You know, it was superhero shit, so that's what you're gonna do. There was just a lot of rehearsal and a lot of work filming that particular sequence. We might have shot that for 2 weeks. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there was some wire work at the end when Queen Maeve comes and hits me and we go flying out the window. And it had all the elements, and I was somehow managed to be in the center of the madness. It was epic for sure. When you're destroying furniture and sets and breaking, you know, walls and things are crashing all around you, they will have, you know, a double or a triple of a desk or a chair or an area that they can, if something bad happens, they can go in and try to like patch it back together or put another chair in or whatever. And we would do that, you know, just even if we nailed it on the first take, every actor's favorite word, let's go again for safety. I guess that's a sentence, not a word. So they do have doubles of a lot. I mean, I can't talk about season 5 right now. There's some big ones in season 5, I will say that. But to talk about the ones that I can't talk about, Herogasm. That episode was also another one that took an extensive amount of rehearsal. It was the first real big fight between Homelander and Butcher. Obviously, I was there getting in the mix, again, destroying the set. That place was just rubble by the time we were done with it. John Koyama, our stunt coordinator, who won an Emmy for his work that season. A brilliant man, brilliant mind, and has an incredible team behind him. They put together just stellar sequences. So getting to work with him, getting to work alongside those guys, collaborating. They'll come up with the choreography. They'll shoot a video of it, and then they'll send it to me. I'll take a look at my part of it and just kind of, I won't do this in public because I look like I've lost my mind, but I'll kind of go through the motion and just kind of feel if there's something that doesn't feel right. Instead of like 2 rights, it feels better to go right, left, right, or adding a cape pull. The stunt guys are just total pros, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll add a left. So a lot of that stuff I was encouraged to like give feedback on, and not wanting to be like, oh, this sucks. I wouldn't take a hit like that. No, I want to try to serve their vision as much as I possibly can, just like a director. And so whatever I can do to kind of facilitate that, but also kind of make it my own, that's really where the collaboration comes in. This is Supernatural. There's a lot to choose from. Stunt-wise, with that show, we did just about everything. We did from hand-to-hand combat to wire work, weapons training. There was a lot. I was a bit younger then and felt maybe a little invincible. And so I was throwing myself and throwing myself into things and doing all the things that a young, excited actor would probably want to do. I'm like, I'm young enough, I'll heal. As the show progressed, I started taking a little bit more of an interest in how the stunts were choreographed and how they were designed and what exactly my body was going to be going through. But it wasn't just out of like self-preservation. I wanted to make it even more cinematic. There was an episode called Atomic Monster where I got really involved in designing the whole opening sequence. Kind of took some inspiration from the John Wick films that were out at that time and maybe stole a few things. But hey, if you're gonna steal from the best, right? We tried to do the whole thing in one shot. Usually they'll break it up. Like if you see a long fight scene, it's usually broken up into sections, and you can shoot that little section, boom, 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 make sure you got it right, move on to the next section. So that was one of those where you couldn't break it up. So that's why it still resonates in my head. You know, I'm grabbing guys and basically shooting them in their chin, taking out guys down the hall. There was some somersaults, there was some flips, there was some hand-to-hand knocking. Give me a long stunt day any day, I'll take it. That's stunts for me, and I've got many more. Stay tuned.